Good morning again and welcome back to a second session of our class. And I guess you liked the previous one and benefited from it. Now, today we are going to deal with another very interesting topic which everyone would like. Now, before we go into the topic, I'm going to ask you something, a question, and then mind it, the question is going to fetch you a fabulous prize if you answer it properly. The question is very simple, but think and answer. Let me ask you the question. The question is, tell me something that everyone likes. When I say everyone, children, grown-ups, aged, rich, poor, ladies, gents, people with sickness, good health, whatever be it. Just think for a second and answer me. Yeah, someone is here with the answer. Yeah, please tell me. Oh, well, chocolates, ice cream, cookies, sweets. But I don't believe that this is the right answer, because there are people, especially the grown-ups, with the sugar factory within their body. So if they eat those, they are in trouble, so they may not like it. So I disagree with you. Let's say, another answer. Burger, pizza, cakes and other things. Now, people with a lot of cholesterol, they don't go for it and they may not prefer it. Sorry, the wrong answer. Yeah, someone else. Money. Wow, what an answer. But I think I cannot agree with you, because there are people, the sages, who are detached with the worldly possessions and money and other things. I don't think they like it. Okay. Well, we'll try. Shall I give you the answer? Yeah. This is something that everyone likes without any doubts. All the categories which I mentioned. And that is storytelling. Everyone like it, I know that. So now, why do we tell all the stories, sir? Your doubt is that it's not a story. It's a real serious things that I'm talking. It is a question that is mandatory in examination, public exam, which fetches you 10 full marks if you are careful. So, very important topic, and that is storytelling. So, shall we start? Now, people find it a bit difficult, especially in examination when they are in tension. The question is asked, what to do? Suddenly from out of the blue, a question, outline is given, you have to develop a story. What about the creativity? What about the imagination? What about this? What about that? Let me give a shortcut. If you practice it in advance, it will be very useful to you later. When we have the time, try to read minimum 10 stories so that we know how the plot is developed, what are the characters, how to go about, how to develop, where to start, what's the plot. A lot of things can be in our mind, ready-made, cut and paste you can do, and we can have a fabulous story there. And there comes the thing. And now, when we have a problem like this, I know it is not easy for a student because the experience is less. So let me give you a few hints so that you can make the story writing as easy as the vocabulary or the alphabet. The problem with story writing in examination is the limit of time and word limit. Both you have to be very careful with. Now, if you are careful with 5 elements which I am going to discuss and the tips which I am going to give you, the story writing will not be a difficult task for you. First one, you have to have a problem. What is a problem that is discussed solved in the story. And let's say, for example, someone being kidnapped, or you are kidnapped, or you face a wild animal in a forest while you go for an outing, or you face the policeman with some problem. So it can be any. So that is a problem. Second important aspect that you should look into in a story creation or storytelling is the setting. Where does the story take place? For example, you face a wild animal. It should be in the forest, and you describe. Mind it, the word limit is very important. The forest, how dreadful it is. Or the kidnapping scene, let's say in the city, or in a restaurant, or in a mall, or somewhere. Or you face the police, as we mentioned in the examination. So once the setting is done, we have to think about the characters. Who are they? You are there. You are the hero. Then automatically a villain may be there. A heroine if needed. Side characters. And what? Who? How many characters are there? What are their roles? How they go about? How they evolve? All these have to be taken care of in advance. Then comes the real plot, the action, the events. Now, how did it happen? Let's take the case of, for example, the kidnap. How did it happen? Then next one is, where did it happen? Facing an animal in the forest. Because the setting is a forest. Or facing the police. For example, you went out with 3 people on bike, and when the corona restrictions are there, and you know what happens. So the plot, then what happens, how. Now here what happens is that you have to build up a climax. Starting from the low level, the tension increases, suspense. The protagonist is almost in danger, and the climax is created. And then the building up of climax is very important in a storytelling. And finally, the 5th element is the solution. What happened? How did you manage to escape from the kidnappers? How did you do? How cleverly you planned your tactics? How you tricked them? And how you came out? Or if you take the case of facing the wild animal, the lions, a pride of lions attack you. You just, with a snap of your finger, you kill them, maybe. A superpower you have. So what will be it? Build up. And the solution. How did you manage to escape from the given problem? Now when I talk about all this, let me give you a tip of advice in order to make your narration of the story interesting. Number 1, your vocabulary. A rich vocabulary will make your narration interesting, flowery, attractive, lively. And the readers will be interested in reading your story. Number 2, we have to use number of adjectives and adverbs in order to narrate the events without making the readers boring. Okay, so those are the pre-preparation or prior preparation that you need to have for writing a story. Now let me give you a few tips. Let me tell you about 10 tips I would like to tell you to create an interesting story, especially from the point of examination. And please remember, if needed, you can note down. Number 1, in an examination, the outline of the story is given, and then you try to understand what exactly it is. Don't misunderstand. So that's a plot. Try to understand in its totality. Number 2, develop the points into complete sentence. There the tips are given, clues are given, they are incomplete. So you have to make them into full sentences, giving them flesh and bone and whatever decoration you need. This is the second one. Third important thing is follow the sequence. What do you mean by sequence? What is the storyline given? Exactly follow that. What happens first, next. You can't start from last and come to the middle and come to the end or something like that. You can't. So one or two more small things regarding the sequence is don't omit any points that is given in the hints. If you miss that, there is a possibility of people getting the story loose, missing the connection somewhere. Number 2, don't add any any point which is not related to that. It can mislead the story, make the story something bad. So these two things if you keep in mind, your story outline is clear. Then, fourth tip I would like to give is divide the story into 3 distinctive parts. Number 1, the introduction. We have seen how the setting and other things introducing the character, setting, etc. Second part is the main body. In the main body, what you are going to do is you elaborate, extend the story, keeping all the suspense and elements and other things, the building up of the story to the maximum climax. Then comes the third one, the conclusion. That is, we have already discussed the division, the conclusion of it, how the story ends. And in the ending of the story, it can be either tragedy or comedy or whatever be it. That depends on the situation and the story that you are in. Another important thing is, in the clue, just bare minimum information and matter is given. When you write a story, see that a lot of flesh is put in. A lot of decoration is put in. Give more information, more ideas so that readers are interested in knowing what it is like and it looks rich. So maximum details can be given to make it more interesting, more enjoyable. The sixth point I would like to mention is the tense that should be followed. Not the tension that you follow, the tense, the grammar tense. Usually, a story is narrated of an event that happened in the past. Automatically, the tense expected here is the past tense. Could be simple past tense, past continuous, what would be it. So don't mix up tenses and confuse the reader. And they may not be able to understand when it happened. Is it going to happen or it's happening now? Another thing, that is the seventh tip I would like to give is use a few dialogues to make it more lively. Otherwise it will be just morose. People should be directly asking, answering, maybe shouting, maybe whatever be it. The dialogue should be introduced so that people can involve, they can visualize as they are in the scene. Then comes the next tip related to this dialogue. When a dialogue is introduced, see that it is in direct speech. And when you introduce dialogue and direct speech, it becomes more appealing to the reader, direct to the reader, they are able to connect with it. Then, the ninth tip is the title of the story. No story can be written without any title. So, very apt title should be selected, and in examination, separate marks are allotted for the title minded. So, don't miss the title. Now, when I discuss the title issue, I would like to remind you how to give the title. It can be something that is related to the main character. You can give the name of the main character. For example, there's a story regarding the ant and the dove. Yeah, the title can be The Ant and the Dove. Or we can go for what do you call the main events. For example, you are kidnapped. For example, we have got the story by R.L. Stevens, The Kidnapped. So the major event that we deal with in the story is the kidnapping or something. So the title given is Kidnap. And he used aptly kidnapped. Second point that you should remember regarding the heading or the title is use title casing. I repeat, title casing. What does it mean? So whenever you write a title, see that capital letters are used for the starting letter of each word except article, conjunction and preposition. Remaining words, whichever words are there, as many words are there, the starting letter of each word should be in capital. And that is called title casing. And that is going to give marks in examination. The third point regarding the title is avoid quotation marks, punctuation for a title. Title should be plain using what you call title casing. And the last tip I would like to give is the moral. The story should have a moral, because most of the stories are narrated or written so far in the world is for conveying a moral, and in examination also moral of the story is very important. Okay, so these are the main points that you should keep in mind when you go for an examination. Okay, then comes the final word I would like to say today is we are in the learning process. Spend every day a few minutes or a few hours in that process. Now I'm going to give a task for you, the writing task. Please complete it, and then after completing, please pass it on to me in or to the number which is going to be displayed on the screen. And when you send those, take a snap, send it to the number which is displayed. And when you send it, please remember you have written 3 things. Number 1, your name with full initial, class and section, and the mobile number. Because at times the mobile number which I have is different from which you are in touch with. So please send them. Don't forget, I expect everyone giving the answers and sending it back to me. And you will get the question after this video. See you. Bye bye. Take care. Don't go out. Stay home. Stay safe. Follow all the instructions given by the government, and it is for our benefit, not for anything else. Take care. Bye.